Forced my poor cat to sit. I know.
Jesus Christ, Silent Hill Revelations. Where the fuck do I even begin with this mess? On the box we have a raving review that simply says, Film of the Year. Sorry. They very clearly forgot to put an asterisk next to this guy's name with some subtext explaining he was very high on meth and held hostage in someone's basement for 364 and a half days of the year, because there is no fucking way this was somebody's film of the year. I'm also not convinced that a so-called film of the year would have the actual director of their movie apologise for how much of a dumpster fire this movie was.
I forced my poor cat to sit. I know. To sit for the entire hour and 30 minutes. What did you think of it, Dee Dee? Exactly.
The movie starts with a blonde girl running in what appears to be the other world of Silent Hill, and Pyramid Head working as a fairground worker. Don't worry, I will get back to this later on, it does come up again. There's also a millennial emo version of this girl. Where the fuck did they find this footage of me from 2008? It's not a phase, Mom. Blondie wakes up and it was all just a dream. So you know, this movie is already onto a great start with this tired ass trope. Here we see Christopher from the first movie, which this movie is actually supposed to be a continuation of, even with a whole different director involved. Oh yeah, and a new writer, because the writer from the first movie decided to lap GTA in real life. The first movie, I'm pretty sure, is the only movie Sean Bean hasn't fucking died in. I mean, at least not physically. Mentally, I'm sure he's dead inside after working on not one, but two of these fucking films. He goes to comfort the girl and... never mind. I take back what I said about him not dying. But wait, it was all just a dream again. Where's James Sunderland with a pillow when you need him? We learn the girl's name is Heather and is Harry's, aka Christopher's, daughter. If you're scratching your head wondering why they changed Sean Bean's character name to Harry, it's because they're on the run. Heather thinks it's because he killed somebody, but I am going to cut the bullshit and just say a massive spoiler, which this video is going to be full of, by the way. It's actually the cult from Silent Hill who want a shock horror. And if you're also wondering where the mum Rose is from the first movie, we do get a scene where Harry talks to Rose in the mirror, and it looks like she's still trapped in the other world, like in the end of the first movie, and she mentions something about a seal, which if you've played the games you will be familiar with. And if you're still wondering why she's trapped in there and Heather, Sharon from the first film, the little girl, isn't, then get ready to have your titties blown off with this one, because the film cannot even be asked to explain it properly. What? The lazy fucking bastards couldn't even be bothered to give any sort of reasoning apart from mentioning some seal, and I can only assume they thought the rest of this movie was a masterpiece, so they would think that we wouldn't notice.
Good grief.
Anyway, it's Heather's first day in a new school, and on the way to the bus, she comes across a homeless man, and then she has this sort of hallucination that he's a monster, but he actually just looks like an arse face.
The boy with an arse for a face.
Then pretty much after that scene, some strange man in what looks like an Inspector Gadget cosplay approaches Heather until she then scuttles off and gets on a bus. Oh, I wonder if this guy's going to become important later on. Heather gets to introduce herself to the class, and we get the most god-awful scene, not just in this movie, but in any movie I have ever seen, and it truly has to seem to be believed.
Don't talk to me. We won't be friends. I won't IM you or Facebook you or tweet you, read your blog.
Dude, that little kid is hardcore goth. Hardcore goth.
We then get introduced to a character called Vincent, who is also a new student. Now, if you're a Silent Hill fan and the name sounds familiar, it's because there is a character called that in the third game, which this movie is supposed to be based off. But he is Vincent in name and name only, literally nothing else. It's like they created some sort of safety blanket for the fans with this familiarity, only instead of a blanket, it's a sheet of sharp, rusty metal riddled with tetanus. Vincent takes a shining to Heather, but she has no interest. After pointing it out, Vincent's accent is atrocious. You could have got an alien who isn't even native to the English language to do a better job than this.
Is that leather?
Oh, guess what? Inspector Gadget from before comes back, to which Heather then gets freaked out about, and then she calls her dad asking him to meet her at Happy Burger. See guys, they really get this series because look at all the references they're making. Inspector Gadget reveals himself to be a private investigator under the name of Douglas Cartland, sent by the cult of Silent Hill to find her, but instead wants to help her. I can't help but see a glimmer of hope in this sewage of a film and start to think, maybe this movie isn't the pile of shite I remember it being. Maybe the writers did actually care, because what's this? A game-accurate character who actually seems interesting? That can only mean one thing. Yeah, he gets killed by some Hellraiser reject monster. Heather then becomes a suspect for murder because this absolute donut decided to take a coat off that had his blood on it. What? Why? This never really amounts to anything either, so the whole drama of this, much like the rest of this movie, seems very pointless. We get a scene on the bus home with Vincent where they have a nice, normal conversation about mortality. You know, all the stuff that two teenagers talk about. Vincent also tells her his granddad, Leonard, is in an asylum for being a bit too inquisitive about dreams and life and death. The same place I'll be going if I watch any more of these fucking terrible movies.
I hate my stupid psychotic brain!
Heather ends up back at home after Vincent so graciously walks her back after a really riveting conversation, only to find Harry is missing, and this dope runs to her room to check for him. Not his bedroom, living room, or you know, even the bathroom. Her room. What kind of insane fucking logic is that? It's like going to a car dealership to find your car before checking your own driveway first. Vincent then comes back after hearing Heather screaming. Just how close was this guy to her house? No wonder he's had to change schools. Every girl in the last place probably had to get a restraining order against him.
Who lives in the east neath the willow tree? Sexual harassment, panda.
They both use their one shared brain cell to actually check the living room this time, to then see this wrote on the walls. And it's at this point in the movie I am amazed they can actually fucking read instead of just dragging the knuckles on the ground while admiring the pretty colour on the wall.
Found the body first thing, and I immediately went to fetch the caveman police.
They both decide to go to Silent Hill and bring Harry's box of notes that he's made over the years, and Heather grabs a gun from the box as well. See, I would normally be quite worried about an absolute spanner like Heather carrying a gun around, but her IQ level actually seems to match the average IQ level of a gun owner in America, so I think we might be okay. I'm sorry to any Americans watching, please don't shoot me.
I'm gonna rise up, gonna kick a little ass, gonna kick some ass in the USA.
The movie then makes an attempt, out of nowhere, to be edgy and funny, with the obligatory mention of an Indian burial ground.
Built on ground taken from the native Indians. They called it the place of the silent spirits.
Never build on ancient Indian burial grounds. I thought everyone knew that.
You have the man of the same charisma as somebody after a lobotomy trying to deliver witty dialogue. We're now at the point where downing a bottle of drain cleaner seemed quite tempting, as Vincent suggests that they stay in a motel for the night, and this is where the big twist soon gets revealed that Heather is a part of a lesser Gillespie. She was the child in the first movie who got burned and essentially created Silent Hill. Along with that, Vincent is a child of the Order and had to make a sacrifice to leave Silent Hill to find Heather. Jesus fucking Christ. Did these fuckers have a horror movie trope list checklist in front of them while they were writing this? The next bits of this movie I'm gonna skip through quite quickly, as it is about as entertaining as watching a Keir Starmer speech.
The return of the sausages, the hostages.
But I do have to mention the awful CGI here. What the fuck? Am I watching Silent Hill or Doctor Who? Whose bright idea was it to add this when we have legitimately interesting monsters like this from the game? This monster genuinely looks like it was filmed with a fucking microwave. I can't tell if it's the design of the monster or the amount of drain cleaner I had to drink, but it's hurting my eyes. Oh yeah, and Heather also runs into Dahlia from the first movie, who was Alessa's mom. That's all I have to say here, because it genuinely adds nothing to the movie apart from Dahlia looking like a local crackhead.
You buy crack. I'm sorry. Did you get addicted to crack? Did somebody get addicted to crack?
Heather goes to save her dad, but she needs to find the other half of this seal that Rose was talking about in the beginning of the movie. Oh, and remember the granddad Vincent mentioned before? Well, Heather decides to pay him a visit and grab the other half of the seal because apparently it's inside of him. What? Anyway, Heather then grabs the seal, and then we get an obligatory Pyramid Head scene because, you know, Pyramid Head is Silent Hill, and that is all Silent Hill fans want, right?
Oh, no. No.
I mean, heaven fucking forbid we don't have Pyramid Head in a Silent Hill movie. I suppose with a movie as bad as this, they needed some sort of gimmick or some sort of pull to get the audience in, because there is nothing else going for it. Oh yeah, the nurses are here as well, because again, why not? I mean, we've had Pyramid Head, why not add the nurses in as well? Because we can't have Pyramid Head without the nurses. How are we going to get people to sit and watch this fucking awful movie? And they start making really suggestive noises. I just know that somebody out there had a wank in the cinema to this, and the thought of it is genuinely melting my brain, and it wants to make me bleach my eyes, even though I haven't seen it, but I can see it in my mind's eye. Cut to Vincent and Heather in the fairground, and oh look, it's Pyramid Head working on the waltzes again.
The louder you scream, the faster the ride. Shabba!
Only this time it's actually real for Heather, and unfortunately real for us, the audience, too. Christ, it's like if Stevie Wonder tried to explain the visuals of Silent Hill 3 to the writers, because why is Pyramid Head here again? Emo Heather returns as well. They hug.
That's beautiful, Katie.
And then Heather confronts Claudia, who we now know as Vincent's mother. And yeah, that is Trinity from The Matrix. You're actually telling me that we have Boromir, Trinity, and Jon fucking Snow, and this is the movie where they all come together. How the fuck did they mess this up so badly? Claudia turns into the Hellraiser reject monster we saw earlier, the one who killed Douglas and took away the only good character that is in this movie, maybe apart from Christopher. I don't know. The jury's out on that one, guys. You know what? I'm never, ever gonna guess what happens next. I am being deadly serious. I want you to fucking guess. If you have never seen this movie before, please put in the comments what you think is going to happen, because I can guarantee it's going to be very different to what you're visualizing. Fucking Pyramid Head appears again, and this time it's him and Claudia having this weird battle thing. One thing I need to note is that they explained Pyramid Head's presence in this movie as him being Heather's protector. Yeah, you know, Pyramid Head, that monster from Silent Hill 2 who represents a really deep part of James Sunderland's judgment after what he did to Mary, is a protector. Heather then rescues Harry, and unfortunately Vincent too, because he got captured by the Order, and it's a shame that they didn't want to keep him. They head off, and the writers had the absolute nerve and audacity to hint at a sequel, as Harry wants to stay in Silent Hill to find Rose, which I'm going to assume would have been like Silent Hill 2, but honestly I can't visualise a worse Silent Hill 2 movie than the one that we got recently. Heather and Vincent get a lift home off this trucker guy called Travis. See guys, they do care about this movie. They do care. They really don't. They really don't. Oh, and it's a bus from Silent Hill Downpour, the prison bus. You know, that game that everybody absolutely fucking loved. Before anybody complains that all I've done is moan, I do actually have some positives. I really enjoyed the music that series composer Akira Yamaoka did. He actually went out of his way to make an original soundtrack for this. Soundtrack is actually really, really good. If you're a Silent Hill fan and you don't like the movie, you've never listened to the soundtrack in full, I actually do recommend it because it's really good. What? You seriously wanted me to go in and list more positives? I'm being serious, that is my only positive. And it just makes me so angry that for some reason, movie studios just cannot get it right. And they literally have all the source material right in front of them. It's that fucking easy. When a game adaptation is happening, you generally don't really need to change a lot with the story. And I understand, and I said this in my Return to Silent Hill review, I understand that a lot of things do have to change in order to be adapted to the big screen. But things like the story, they don't really need to be changed. Anyway, I think that is all from me for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this hideous journey. This hideous, hateful journey. But if anybody has any more hideous game adaptations that they want me to talk about, please let me know in the comments below. But thank you so much for sticking with me. And I hope you all have a hideous and hateful day. But also, thank you so much for those of you who have stuck around and you've subscribed and you've commented and you've liked. I do really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's get me monetized, please. Alright, thank you so much, guys. Have a spooky day. Bye.